Vance, where were you born and raised?
Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that with mom and dad.
Yeah, my whole family, like, we had my whole three generations of family living up there up until recently. We lost my grandma, but yes, big family up there.
So siblings.
Two brothers.
So tell me about where are you in the
Right smack dab in the middle.
when you guys were growing up? What did you guys do for fun?
My little brother and me are not significant, like pretty younger. We're about 5 years younger than my older brother. So he was kind of doing his own thing. But so him and I played baseball, in like little league, and did regular kid stuff. Played games and outside, and kick the can and fucking.
Yeah.
Sorry, my language. Okay, like Red Rover, all those games like that with the kids play. Yeah.
And so 3 generations. So your parents, the boys, and your grandma.
My
all
mom.
living in the same home.
No, that would have been lovely. No, but it was no, just me. It was my younger brother and me, my dad and my mom, and our dog, our childhood dog, and then my older brother was my dad's first wife's child, and that was so separate house, but still my half brother. So
Right.
So.
And are they still up there?
My older brother, the one I just told you about, actually, has just started having his own family, and he just moved them to Idaho. He works for FedEx. He's getting pretty high up there in the company, which is pretty cool for him. And my mom and my dad are actually building their dream house up in Wasilla, Alaska. We grew up in Anchorage, and they're up there excavating my papa's property, because we just lost him last year too. So, he had a good life, So, but he'll be missed. So they're up there, lifelong true Alaskans for sure. Yeah.
And so you went to high school there?
Yeah.
I assume?
Yeah, I did.
And then any college or anything?
Yeah, I did. I graduated in 2008 at Sir Robert Service High School up there, up in the mountains there. But I did some small amounts of college. I did horticulture program at Clackamas Community College outside of Portland. And then I did a pitiful semester, and I did horrible, and I wasn't ready for it. At Portland Community College, the Sylvania one in Portland, like right outside of Portland, as well.
Join the club. I did terrible at community college as well.
Yeah, it was not
You're not
good.
alone in that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, school is not for everybody.
Honestly, I think that if I was offered to go now, I think I would have actually had a much better chance than I did then. I wasn't ready. I told my folks and my guidance counselors, all of them, that I needed to get a little bit of a rest after high school, and they wouldn't listen to me. And then so started school, and I just immediately quit. I went to school for like a week, So that's it.
Yeah. Well, how long ago was that?
Back in 2008.
Oh, 2008.
Yeah.
That's when you graduated high school.
Yeah.
Then straight to.
Right, straight to Portland. I moved to Portland the day after I graduated high school.
Well, tell me about that transition. Did you know anybody in Portland? Or were you just like?
Yeah, my best friend / life partner. Her name was Catrielle. She had moved. She was 2 years older than me, and she moved up to Portland to strike a relationship with her father that she had been basically apart from for many years, and it was something that was really bugging her. From the moment I met her until the moment she met up with him,
She reconnected with her father.
With her father, it was yeah.
And they invited you to come down.
They invited me to come down because me and her were extremely close, and yeah. She's great. It was. It felt like the right move. It felt like the right move.
So how long were you in there?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, so 2009 and 10 around there?
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
And then I moved. I'm an explorer. I love going on trips. I love traveling. I've been to 13 countries.
Great.
All backpacked in all those places. And but I went to where'd I go? It was San Francisco after that. Went back to Alaska for the summertime actually. Left Portland around end of May, Alaska, June till the end of the summer, and then I was up on my way to San Francisco in September. So yeah. So.
And then when did you come back to Seattle? I guess.
So I did the whole thing in San Francisco. Went back to Alaska after about like 7 years of living there. Had to go into treatment. Had some mental health stuff going on that couldn't be ignored anymore, and that started that spiral of all that. Just a lot of life, like real life stuff, and then I was doing okay. After that, I got out, and then I decided to go and travel to Thailand. That was the first chapter of the traveling. And,
I see. That's when you started traveling.
yes, and then I started doing a trip. A trip every month, or sorry, every couple months. Because I had gotten, I don't know if this matters or not, but I got an inheritance from my grandma, who actually wished for me to go on trips with that money.
Oh, great.
So I was like, why not?
It's an amazing gift.
Yeah.
And education, see the world,
Yeah.
absorb culture,
Yeah.
other than, where you're at. That's incredible. I love that.
Yeah, like my 90-year-old grandma on her deathbed was so excited. Like, I'll never forget it. Ear to ear smiles. When she on her last couple of days, and it was just one of those memorable experiences because she was just so excited for me to go on my trips, and she just wanted to hear all about it, what I was planning on doing, and it was awesome, to have that connectivity with your elder, So I take that seriously. So
What a gift.
yeah. So
Well, tell me about one of your favorite places or experiences that stick out when you traveled.
It's kind of a weird thing, but my favorite thing to do ever is I love that initial when you're up in the airplane and like the whatever country you're going to, they're speaking the language, whatever, and then or broken English, but telling you they're going to land in this random place you've never been before. You have no idea what you don't know nothing about the country at all, unless anything you read online. That's probably all you know is stuff online. So I find that's very scary. And I love like that couple hours of when you're trying to get everything situated, and have to get from the airport to your hotel or whatever, and then settle in. That's so scary to me. But when you get done with it, you feel so accomplished, and I love it.
Yeah. It's such a risky, vulnerable, uncertain. I don't know what's gonna happen. New place, but then there's like an accomplishment of like, I did it.
Yeah, for real.
I did it.
Except one time, in Mexico. I got lost, and the authorities had to get involved. I could not find my way in Mexico City, and it was getting dark out, and it was getting kind of scary out there, and like it's a very dangerous city, And so I got lost out there, and then the cops had to come pick me up and take me home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but other than that, it was great. I'll do it like that. So.
That does sound scary, but that sounds kind of minimally like, okay, it resolved and you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing was they were starting. The residential folks around there were kind of starting to look at me a little bit.
Yeah.
I was told my tattoos and stuff were not appropriate for they want to know what they all mean and stuff, and I'm just like I am not in the mood for all that.
Yeah, I just want to get back to
my hotel.
Your hotel. Is.
Yeah. So,
speaking of tattoos, tell me a little bit about.
About which ones?
I don't know. Tell me your favorites.
My favorites. You can't see. I'm actually attempting to grow my hair out for the first time since I was in middle school. So like almost 20 years ago.
You've always had it shaved.
Yes, I'm getting ready to cover this up, but typically it's shaved, and so it's a really beautiful piece on my skull right here. That's probably my favorite one. You can't really see it very well though. I also love my Cupid doll. I love that one. It's really cute. I love my dress form because I design clothes.
Okay.
Gotcha. I love all of them. I love they're all great. So.
Tell me about, you design clothes. Tell me more about that. How did that start?
Clothing design actually is not my forte. But interior design rather is my thing. Like, I love to do that, And so, but fashion design, I like doing like pet projects, I made a bunch of graphic tees like a year ago, and I sold a bunch online and stuff. Made some decent money on that. That was fun. So that's been about as far as it'll go for fashion design. Just like streetwear. But interior design though, and that's when I really get down to business. I love Scandinavian anything. Norway, Sweden, Finland. They're such amazing people, amazing countries. I was like, when I went to Iceland, I was in a furniture heaven there. Like, I brought back so much furniture from there. My mom was pissed, for real. Because I was living at home at that time period, and she's knocking the door. We first got home, knocks on the door every 5 or 10 minutes with couches and chairs, and it was awesome though, because I resold them. I really resold them up here for quite a bit more. Yeah, so because I was working at a place in Alaska, a modern furniture store at the time, and I had the connections at the time. I wasn't, I used to be a workaholic bad, so yeah, it burnt me out bad. It did, but.
So, you've been in Seattle how long?
So this is where it gets blurry. This is where it gets really blurry because it's been living in Seattle has been I feel like I've had to fight for my life here, which is not a bad thing. I think I really needed it. I was really before I was out in the streets. I was really spoiled, really just didn't really care about anything other than myself, and I don't like I don't want to be like that, but I don't know. I've been out here for about 7 or 8 years now, and it's been a roller coaster the whole entire time. Sleeping outside with no blankets, by yourself in the middle of the winter time, one of the scariest feelings. It makes me cringe thinking about it. Like the amount of being attacked by strangers, like they don't even know you, don't know them. We don't know what some of these people are capable of out here, and it's like, they start yelling and stuff right next to you, and it's scary, and so there's a lot of threats, but also the way I feel about it is like, if you can get through it all, it's gonna make you a stronger man or a woman one day, I gotta take a win out of that somehow, because it was hard, it was there was times crying myself to sleep and being homeless out here,
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And again, I can only imagine you're constantly on fight or flight. Your nervous system is just always.
Yeah, that's why I am
survival.
like. Yeah, that's why. Even right now, that's why I'm like, because I'm.
You feel it.
As I'm constantly, I'm constantly just. I don't want to say unsafe, but unsafe. You just never know.
Well, you don't feel safe.
With you, I feel safe right here. With this situation, this is fine. But around us, there's a lot of negative things that go on that you don't even know that are going on. A lot of gun violence, a lot of things that I don't believe in guns. I don't like that. And like my friend just last week got shot in the face, right there, like right 2 blocks from where we're standing, bro. Like. And she's not even 21, and she's fighting for her life in the hospital. For what? It's like for what though? I don't understand. Like, it's like, why? How can anybody do that? Something like that to somebody? Like
Every day, which is the scary part, all the time.
Yeah, but luckily, the good news is that we got some word today that she's gonna survive. So good. Yes, that's all good.
Vance, what do you do to be calm?
I don't ever get a chance to be calm, really, honestly.
Well, how do you cope with?
Well, I do. I'm an artist. I use, it's kind of a weird medium. I use paintbrushes and paint pens and Sharpies. It's my main medium. It looks great together. If you ever seen it together, it looks awesome. So I immerse myself into a new piece. What I'm gonna do. But I definitely probably need to see some kind of mental health specialist for my, as of lately, my stress has just been like through the roof. Yeah. So yeah. So, but other than that, yeah.
Is there anything you want people of Seattle to know?
This is a tricky question, just because I feel like people here, they don't like us. People here. And it's rightfully so. I'm gonna say that. And I feel like people that live out here with me, if they hear this, they're going to be upset with me for saying this. But our communities are ruining portions of the city in many ways, and it's but not all of us are doing that. So but we're all being targeted, held accountable, and targeted for it, which I get, I understand. But I think I'd like to pass on the message that, like, that people need to remember that not everybody is out here for drugs, and everybody's out here for whatever, for selfishness. There are truly people that have had years and years of trauma, unavoidable trauma, and sexual identity issues like I had, and we felt really alone, and had to somehow seek refuge, emotionally and physically, with people that you feel like are a little bit more like-minded. You don't always find that out here. You end up actually getting sometimes more lost. But if you can, just be more compassionate to the people that are around you, because you don't know where they're from, or what they do, or what they're going through. And so when you walk by and say, get a job bum, or you're a piece of shit, I was told to go die before, like last week. Like, it's like, that's just think about what you say before you do it, because it's like that person might just go do it. Plain and simple. So that's all I want to say about that. But I love Seattle too. I love Seattle.
I'm curious. You talked about your sexual identity growing up in Alaska. I don't know how liberal, progressive, or anything, but I guess, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So this is a bit of a little bit of a murky topic for me, but I would love to share my experience. And I'm gonna and it's hard because everyone gets really surprised when I say this, but I'm gonna flat out tell people that I don't like being gay. Really, just only I'm not. I don't hate myself though. I love myself, and I love who I am. But I don't really like being. I don't like the title. I don't like the stigma. I don't like the just a lot of everything that goes along with it. What people have turned it into. Like Pride yesterday. Like, I always tell people I don't need to go. I go to a parade and see a bunch of people that are not even gay, dancing in whatever costumes or whatever, trying to sing to support us. This one day, but then the next day, they're back to calling us faggots on the street. That happens to me daily. And so I don't want to get too far off topic, but but yeah, basically, give me a couple questions of like what you were thinking you wanted to ask.
So you always identify as gay from a certain age. I assume you started being attracted to somebody. Yeah. And my guess is it's like kind of like, I'm not supposed to, or I don't know, you felt okay with it, or? No,
you just hit the nail on the head. So yeah, so I made my dad for, oh my God, move along. My dad, I have a really amazing father. Unfortunately, my father's very bigoted, very racist. He grew up in Arkansas. That's the only thing I can ever say about my father that is wrong about him, because everything else he does, he's the embodiment of a real man to me, and I like to look up to that, But he forced me into playing sports, which I fucking hated. But in the long run, it was better for me. It ended up being better for me in the long run. But there was a boy that used to come watch our games that I was in love with at 9 years old. And ever since then, I just knew. I knew from that experience. Like, I went to the library, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know I had never heard the word of what it was called. I was 9, but still, like, I didn't really know.
Because it wasn't in the school systems, like, it wasn't taught, like,
that, yeah.
Talked about.
No. Nowadays, it's very much
like
talked
it
about.
is in Seattle.
Yeah, like, right. And back home, it's like, you're gay, and like, you can't go into a restaurant sometimes, like, depending on where you are. And it's gotten better now, I'm sure, but, my mom and dad were actually harassed and tortured very, very badly because of me, and having to carry around that harbor that feeling of like shame and guilt, because my dad comes home crying, worried about me, worried if I'm going to get killed or get beat up, like people are threatening, So
at some point your parents found or realized and accepted?
No, they never accepted. No, never. That was the hardest part about it all, because I came out 3 times. I came out when I was 9, when I was 14, and then when I was 17. I came out in, what did you say? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I came out at those ages, and every single time I did, my mom just looked at me and said that I was lying, and that I had no idea what I was talking about, and I should get more educated. Denied it, and basically, and then pushed me further and further into a dark hole.
tell me about the dark hole. Was that like you hid more or just like separated? What do you mean?
That's when I first started identifying with pretty deep depression at a really young age. Where everybody around me was smiling and laughing and having fun. I was never suicidal though. So I feel like blessed about that. But anything under the sun that's close to that, I was feeling.
As a 9-year-old, 14-year-old, just going through puberty.
Yeah. Not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. There was a time when I used to. There was a chunk of time when I used to look in the mirror, and I would stare at myself, and I would look at myself, and I would be like, I wouldn't identify. I would like be looking directly into my own eyes, and I wasn't identifying with me being inside of that body. I was so like. That's a sad thing, I was just so disconnected, and I was like so not. I was just like disgusted by it, like not about like just about the whole situation. I was just like felt like does that make sense? Yeah, and it was dark. That's a dark, very very dark thing to feel when you're that age. When you have absolutely zero support. My grandmother, my nanny, she was my best friend growing up. So I should say, I did have support from her. If I wouldn't have had her, I don't know if I would have made it. To be honest with you, yeah, And then her mother, my grandma Pearl, was in her 90s, and she was so supportive and she literally educated herself for me about gay people, and it just touched my heart. But those are the only two people that probably kept me alive. So for real. So yeah.
How did you come out of the darkness?
I started traveling. I basically I had a major feeling. And then don't forget, I was doing massive drugs during this time. That's the only. So I didn't cut my wrists. I wasn't suicidal, but basically I had. So my outlet was heroin and narcotic, illicit narcotic. Any pill I could get my hands on, anything that would black me out and make everything. Anyway, so
you think you were just coping with that?
That's how I was coping with it. And I look back on that, and it makes me sad because it's like I wish I would have utilized my time better. Like if I would have done something productive with all the time I was taking those pills, who knows where I'd be now. But I didn't have any guidance. My parents were good parents, amazing parents. My mom and my dad are really great people, but they were not good at. They did not do a good job at making sure that I knew it was important to go to college, or that I needed to get by. Just the normal adult things. My parents did not help me do. And it's like it's true. I told him the other day, and I made my dad cry actually. But I wanted to let him know that he truly hindered me by his bigotry and his racism and his homophobia and everything he stood for. I want to let you know that you really hindered me, and you really sent me into a dark place, and then I blame you. But I was like, I don't hate you and I love you, but I was like, I'm gonna get through it all. But in the long run, this is on you too, on both of you. My mom tortured me, burned my clothes in the front yard. She's a major alcoholic, so she'd be drunk by the time I got home. She never hit me, so I'm not ever. I don't want anybody to think. My mom never hit me. My mom was really good to me. But when it came down to the gay stuff, if anytime gay or anything, she would switch, and she would go and she would fucking, grab my wrist and fucking make me go pick out all my clothes that I had in my house, and she'd burn them in the front lawn, laughing, making fun of me with all the people, the neighbors coming over, and it was humiliating, So I don't know if the answer to that question, but
it's okay. It's part of your story.
Yeah, it's So it's apparent that I'm kind of starting to understand that I'm gonna need to see a pretty good shrink probably after, because I want to get clean soon. But I won't be able to get clean until I find some coping mechanisms to be able to get past what. It's more than just the cravings. It's the physical withdrawals are horrible, and I'm terrified, and so it's as you can see, there's a whole slew of things I need to work on. But
join the club where it's all different.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people are coping with trauma in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't know. I still don't know exactly how to cope. Like, the only time I feel free and feel like I'm almost getting back to being Vance again is when I'm in another country.
Yeah.
I love working. I love aid work. Like, I would love to go. I would love to go to Africa and live in a grass hut next to those people, next to whoever tribe or whatever. I know I'm not familiar. Tribe? Are they tribes?
Villages, there's tribes, there's all kinds of.
Like, I would be the guy that would be like the complete white guy running in there being like, hey, like, it's a dream of mine to work with those people, in any way I could, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about your travel, it's like you were really trying to. It was like it sounded like possibly that was a coping, learning, growing, finding, discovering, all kinds of things.
That's my only time of year that's the only time of year that I could actually have that growth time, because I was sober on those trips. I wouldn't use those trips, so I didn't go there all like. I mean, I'd be dope sick, but for the first little bit, but it would go away. But
you'd be high on the adventure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. My next trips I go on though, I'm dying to go to Israel. I want to go. I want to go some of the Dead Sea so bad. Oh my goodness! Like, I look at pictures almost every night before I go to bed for about. Jerusalem is amazing. That's my dream. I would love to go travel abroad and design furniture just anywhere I went. It'd be fucking incredible. I would just love it. Yeah. So.
Do it. Yeah. You got a lot of life ahead of you.
Yeah, but if I don't get clean soon, it's gonna be it's. I feel it in my bones. Like, my friends. I've lost like 15 or 16 friends in the past 6 months. Like, I'm talking when I say friends, I mean people that have slept in my tent with me, next to me, like, cuddle these people, like, they're my people, and now they're dead, and so, it's very stressful, and it's getting to me a little bit.
But you're feeling like something's gotta shift.
Yeah, because something's gotta shift, or it's gonna be me. And I could never. I would never want to put my grandma's my nanny through that. I don't think she would be able to do it. I don't think she'd make it from that. So, yeah. So I definitely want to figure it out, soon.
Vance, it's good to hear your voice. Thanks for sharing part of your story.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you too.
Fantastic.
Cool.
You got that little mic.
Yeah.
Are you looking for a hug?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thanks so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.